don't get to visit all that often, so I'll let you use your time for questions. But quickly, I mean, it's been a good spring to this point. I sort of felt like we had 13 really, really good outings. Today, I called a little bit mid on offense. I thought the defense did a good job challenging us. It's a great opportunity for us on offense to be reminded that you have to come to the field every day with the right mindset. Got to throw and catch. You got to run the ball. Got to get on the right people. And when you get in the red zone, you got to put the ball in the end zone. So there were a lot of good plays in there, but just from a consistency standpoint, we had 13 what I would say really good days. This one was very mid as we get ready for the spring. But generally speaking, we've done a really good job of getting our system in place, getting the players better individually, and then I think as an offensive unit working together collectively. So that's where we're at.
You got a little taste last year of calling plays without the microphones in the helmet. How big of a difference is that? Does it kind of feel like you're coming out of the stage a little bit?
Yeah, well, that's gone now, though. Right. Now we have the microphone, so it's very similar to what those of us that have done it forever are used to. So that's been good. And the way it works here, we only have two communicators, so only Ryan and Shurmur have the communicators. So, you always signal in college. We're going to be able to be in the huddle and use the wristband and all that business, but for practice purposes, we go no huddle just to practice the pace and everything that happens. But now with the communicator, you'll be able to work the throttle a little bit. If it's a wordier play that needs to be communicated, we get in the huddle. If there's a reason to stop the flow a little bit, you get in the huddle. But what we've trained mostly is being able to go no huddle so we can keep the pace up.
How was the challenge like when
we'll come back to it? We're in no hurry.
You're installing your offense, all this stuff this spring, but then as the spring goes along, there's certain pieces that are no longer there.
Yeah,
Dylan's not there, Alton's not there, Shimon. How challenging is that?
So I look at it as an exercise. So the way I looked at it, and we've always done, is you got to fight with the army you have. So all of a sudden you don't have those pieces. So as you plan the next practice, if you don't have tight ends, we're really kind of a 10 operation, which is a lot of fun because rosters don't afford it in the pro level. When you only have 5 wideouts on the roster, it's hard to be in 10. I love it, and it's a way to move the ball and score more points, right? Keep the field spread with athletes. But I like to be in 11 and 12 too, or 21. So what we try to do then is, okay, we look every morning or every evening and say, okay, what's available tomorrow? All right. So our most recent example is we had one healthy running back for yesterday's practice. So I said, okay, that's fine. Let's go 10 with the 5th wideout. All right, then you run plays. It's really cool how that works, right? And then because it could happen in the game. Right, we could be counting on a guy. He runs down on the first kickoff, and has an injury, and now you're like, okay, now we got to change gears. So the way I look at it, and we have a lot of call periods, is it's a way to train your brain to kind of move and get to the next thing. I got to just say, generally speaking, being involved, this has really freshened up my approach over the years. You do what you do for so long. Being here in college and being with these young athletes has really freshened me up, and that's part of it.
Piggybacking off that, what is the challenge of guys who aren't here yet, but will be? There's much good talents coming in, but they've got to probably learn this on a moving train, I guess. Are they jumping on a moving train, the guys who are coming in?
Yeah, but remember this too. Like, I remember when I got here in July, I go, wow, that's a good-looking player. I was watching the spring game, right? And I go, that's a good-looking player. That's a good-looking, and they're like, Coach, none of them are here. I don't know how that works. I mean, so we were trying to whittle together an all-star team, because they had just gotten there in the summer. For the most part, a guy or two will change, which we've seen, right? But for the most part, we're training the dudes that are going to be here in the fall. And so what the new guys will have coming in now is cut-ups of the things we've done. Teaching aids. Our coaches are familiar with what we're doing, and so they'll be able to pick it up quickly. And now in college football, there's so much being done in the month of June and the first part of July that I feel instead of getting the whole group ready, we're just getting pieces ready around the group that's continuing to develop.
You give them summer school lessons, stuff they have to be ready for camp. What is it?
Yeah, I guess they got a reading list or something. I don't know. But we're gonna, the way our schedule as coaches, obviously, is they're gonna play this game on Saturday. They're gonna finish their finals. They're gonna go home for a while, and then when they come back, probably starting the 1st of June, then we'll reinstall everything that we've done. I know it's a player-led version of that, but we'll find a way to get it done.
Coach, what have you seen from Charlie Hockenall so far?
Charlie is terrific. I have a huge amount of respect for Charlie. I think as a play caller, or really anybody on a football squad, you want dudes out there that you can trust. And Charlie's one of those guys. If you hand him the ball, he makes yards. He understands who to block and protection. When you throw it to him, he catches it. He finds a way to always get positive yardage. We were talking about it today. If you want to be a 3-down back, you have to be trustworthy, and you got to be able to do 3 things, and that's run the ball, pass, protect, and catch. And Charlie's displayed the ability to do that, and he's also a really likable guy, so he's one of those guys that's easy to root for, although we don't have favorites on our team. You root for a guy like Charlie.
With the spring game on Saturdays, how do you kind of balance it being, another practice technically, but also sort of the showcase?
Yeah, I think, it's important. The game's important because for me it's another practice opportunity. I don't have much of a life here, so what I do is I sit at home and I've been just flipping through other teams' spring games, and I watch things, and so I'm sure our first couple opponents will be watching ours. So what we want to try to do is we'll work on some of the things. We're probably not going to show anything new, the 60 or 70% of the new stuff. We'll show things we did last year. There'll be a couple of wrinkles for the fans. But we don't, unless they're peeking over the fence, right? And I'm not, we're not going to help them. We're going to try to help them. So we don't want to show them any of the new stuff. We'll probably show things, even if it is a little bit tricky, that they can find on tape from a year ago, and then let it rip.
How has Ryan improved throughout the offseason, Ryan Staub, and how much do you expect guys like Walter and Destin to maybe challenge him as you get into fall camp in a couple months?
Yeah, good question. Ryan's has been terrific. I think he showed in the Utah game what he's capable of, and that was a 1-game setting. He played really pretty well in kind of a pressured situation. He's made good progress. He's done, I would say, in a practice setting, there's more and more good plays and less bad, and I think that's what you're looking for from a young man that develops. And then the other guys behind him, they're getting a feel for things, right? Their challenge will be to master what we've done already, and if they're forced into action, got to cut it way back, and give them things that they're good at. But that's no different than any league. That happens at the next level as well.
Coach, how would you assess the offensive line at this point?
Yeah, no, it's good. They're growing. They're getting better. As you know, it's a whole new crew, except for a couple of guys. Like Hank's in there, right, playing center. But no, they've done well. They're coming together. A lot going on for them, right? We brought in 6 new guys, but they've got a very mature approach to development. They got a terrific line coach and assistant line coaches to work with. They understand the importance of running the ball and protecting the passer, and we feel like their progress has been really good. And that's the key with an O-line group. So if we can keep them all together, probably add a couple more guys. I guess that's the nature of things. But I really like where we're at going forward. There's a heck of a lot left to do, a lot of work. We're not near where we need to be, but I would say we're on the right track.
Last question for Coach. What do you like about Hank at center? What kind of has impressed you so far this offseason? How is his chemistry with Shurmur kind of growing as well?
Yeah, no, the first thing I like about Hank is, it's easy now for guys to just pull the ripcord and take off, right? And so Hank was here a year ago, got some reps, right? But then he watched this winter as we brought in like 6 guys around him, right? But he didn't say anything, kept working, he was resilient, and he's tough, he kept learning, he kept developing, he got bigger. He did all the things you want from a young man that will develop. And so credit to him, I think if we had to play a game tomorrow, he'd probably be the guy in there, you know. So it's a credit to him, and it's kind of old school in my mind. And heck, he comes from a family of centers, right? His father played center at UCLA for Troy Aikman. His brother Gus played center at Rutgers. He's a center. I was just through Cherry Creek High School the other day. He's got another little brother that's a center. I mean, they probably play catch between their legs when they're at home, you know. I mean, they're all centers, right? So, you know, they're sitting around playing euchre or whatever. I don't know how that works, you know. But there's 4 centers in the family. That's got to be a record. You know, so.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Little Wayne going to call some plays on Saturday?
Sure. You too.